Welcome to the Fishing Podcast, the podcast where we talk about all things fishing, gear, venues, tactics, bait, and of course the fish we catch. I'm Liam Hall.
And I'm Matt Jones.
Here we are.
Here we are.
So this is technically our second run at doing podcasts. A bit of an intro. I think we should give a bit of context as to what's going on.
Let's put the lay of the land down. So we started what could be classified as season one of the podcast in 2019 when COVID hit.
Correct, yeah.
We, kind of kicked off our first few episodes remotely, doing them in each of our houses across the road.
Our bubbles.
You know, doing them over Teams or Zoom. I can't remember how we were doing it at the time, but it was audio only. We didn't have video.
Yeah.
Now look.
Here we are.
Yeah, we got to 7 episodes there and thought, you know what, let's take a break. And now we're bringing it back.
Yeah, we're going to go for a bit more of a... We've agreed we're going to do a bit more of a relaxed format, right? So more conversational,
100%.
More just kind of chatting instead. The previous ones are a bit more like educational, and I think it's important. So to set the scene, neither of us are professional anglers. I would say we sort of, as far as you could take it as a hobby.
I mean, we've been fishing a long time.
Yeah, we've fished a long time.
But we're not like... We wouldn't classify ourselves as the pros.
Neither of us are earning money from fishing.
No.
So
we've all got day jobs and that kind of stuff. We are just extreme hobbyists, I'd probably say.
It's more about our experiences in fishing, our personal experiences, things we've learned along the way, just general conversation. We obviously love fishing, so want to talk about it as well. Excited to talk about it. Hopefully some people can gain something from it, whether that's knowledge, just something to listen to on the bankside, in the car, on the way to work, wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Yep, your audio things, or even watching on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly.
We're trying to make it accessible for all.
Yeah, so that's kind of the idea, and that's what we're gonna go with. So, I think a good way to kind of kick off. How are you?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah, I'm good. Keeping busy. Life never stops.
No, day's been all right.
Day's been good. Yeah. I got back from fishing today.
Yep, you did.
I only did there's a touch over a 24 at the local. But yeah, it was good. It was quiet. Didn't catch anything. Story of my life at the moment. Just blankly blank. But it is what it is. So yeah, it's been a good day. Things have been really busy at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm getting out fishing, but I just wish I was fishing more, But, work's busy, life's busy, still getting out fishing. So what else could you ask for, really? So how are you?
Yeah, good. About the same. Busy. I was not fishing today. I've been at work, which is equally fine. It's a Friday. This probably won't come out on a Friday. We'll have to sort of discuss when these are going to be coming out. But...
Looks like it's happening every Friday.
Every Friday, apparently. It's a Friday, so it's the weekend. I've been looking forward to doing this evening, which is, nice to have, something to look forward to. We'll probably do these Monday going forward, won't we? So maybe we'll see.
We'll see when we release them. But, I mean, look, we've got a brand new little space to be doing them in now.
Set up.
Sit down and talk fashion.
So, I think you've kind of given us a bit of an insight just then. But I'd like to start this with how is your fishing at the moment, week to week? How has your fishing been this week?
So fishing's good. Yeah, I've been out on the bank a little bit. I did 3 days at the local a good couple of weeks ago now, and then was at work for like 4 days, and then went back fishing again for 4 days. But yeah, the first session I blanked. The lake's just really hard. So I was like, first 3 days I did was just really, really tough. Just not even a knock. And then the next 4 days I did after going back, I didn't have a knock for the entire thing, but then on the last night, managed to catch a 16-pound too. Nice. So a fish is a fish. I was quite happy with that.
We'll take it.
And especially as you know, our local lake, it's a fish of 16 pounds is a success.
It's worthwhile, yeah.
So yeah, overall, it's been good. I was back out today, just doing a kind of a 36-ish around that. Still didn't catch anything. But I'm putting in the hours, which is all you can do. Yeah. And unfortunately, I can't say that for you.
I mean, that's spoiler alert. Recently, I was fishing last month a good few times, but over the past couple of weeks, I was ill. I was ill a couple of weeks ago. Then I was away I went to Amsterdam on a cruise with the family, which was
Get your sea legs sorted.
yeah, exactly. Not sea fishing, but on the sea. So I've just been away for the past couple of weeks. It's just been one of those things where I was ill. That knocked me out for a week, which hasn't happened in ages. Then just went away on holiday. So it's just, and the weekends get busy because then I was away for 2 weeks. So then it's, just fishing hasn't happened. But I was fishing last month. The weather's nicer now. No excuses. Can be getting back out. So
Well, we're not fair weather fishermen anyway.
No, we'll fish all through the year.
All the way through the year, even when it's blip, we're still out there fishing.
Yeah, no, exactly that. So, but nice, good, good to be caught up. I think is the main part.
And we're looking to try and get a session in next week at some point as well. So at least we've got things in the pipeline.
Yeah, we've got a session in next week. We're going to go to a new lake. I think more to come on that.
On that, it'll come episode 2 probably at some point.
Do you reckon?
Yeah,
we could do that. Right. On to our first topic of the podcast, which is going to be our top 5 essential non-essentials. We're not going to go our top 5 essentials because it would be rod, line, hook,
of course,
bait,
just everything you literally can't fish without. But
it would be a short chat. So I think how we'll structure this is we don't know each other's top 5. We've got a bit of an idea. We're going to rank our top 5 things that I think, it's like nice to haves, essentials, things that we place a significant amount of value in when we go fishing. Yeah. For whatever reason that might be.
Could be literally anything.
All right. Do you want to kick us off? Shall I kick us off?
No, I'll kick us off.
All right. We're going to go from 5. Are you
oh, sorry. We're going to rank these as we go. Okay. Number 5 for me. Mm-hmm. Lots of people won't agree with this. Isotopes.
Okay.
Essential, non-essential, but I don't only use them on my bobbins now. I also have a little isotope keyring that I have on my bivvy as well, on my little zipper, so that if I catch a fish and I need to get out of the bivvy quick, I'm zipping and out.
Straight out.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I think that definitely is a essential, non-essential. But look, we don't have to agree on our 5.
I knew you wouldn't agree with it.
No, that's fine. I don't have isotopes. I have like the poor man's isotopes, just because they're about what, 15?
Yeah, they are expensive.
20 quid per isotope. Yeah.
But they last like a year.
They do last a while.
They're worth it.
I just have effectively what I like, better than glow in the dark. They last a while. Like the sun will charge them up.
Yeah.
But I think from where my indicators, my bite alarms, I think generally they light up the area pretty well. But it is something that I'll probably consider at some point. So no, that's fair. Some good 5.
Let's hear it. Come on.
My number 5 is a cool box. So my justification for this is it allows you to have especially if you're doing a longer session. Say for example, I'm doing a 48 or a 72, and I want to have. One of the downsides to kind of going like night fishing is you have to take food that will most often just last a while, which means by how many times have I've done a 72 hour and then, or even longer, or however long, and you get to like that last day and you get back and you're just like, I don't care what it is. I just want some vegetables or just something that isn't like freeze dried or like
isn't just pasta noodles or anything like that.
Yeah, exactly. So that's not just like, non-perishable. So it's quite nice to take, to be able to take like fresh milk and especially when it gets like warmer during the summer. And that's been a relatively recent buy of mine, but it's just been quite nice. Like last session we went on, I was able to pre-make like a nice sandwich with like meats and like some coleslaw and things like that, and it stays like super cold. And it's I could take a couple of drinks, cans of drink, and you get to like the evening and you've got like a nice fresh ice cold drink, and it's like a small thing, but it just helps to kind of have some nicer food and things like that. So
I back it, but there are only 2 types of people in this world.
Yep.
Those that have cool boxes and those that have cool bags.
Right. Yeah. Cool bags are just a less efficient version of a cool box.
Potentially, but they are a bag and they are easier to carry around. My cool bag stays in my barra bag.
Yeah, that is the downside.
And I don't have another just hard, rigid box to pull around with me everywhere.
Yeah.
Even carrying like a like a bucket around with you is a pain in the ass sometimes.
Yeah, I think my box isn't massive though. It's like only it's a Ridge Monkey one. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah.
It's literally like, it's really no bigger than a sort of like a foot wide, foot deep, something like that, I think. So but that's my number 5.
It's a good number 5. Right. My number 4. So me and you come across these a while ago. In fact, I think it was you that introduced me to them. If you're familiar with the Duvet ranking system.
I'm very familiar with the Duvet ranking system.
The TOG rating.
Yeah.
We found socks that have a TOG rating.
I like this one.
And they're borderline shoes for your feet. So, yeah, solid, thick socks, only for the winter. But look, if you're outside and you're wearing your Crocs, and we're standing on the bankside having a chit chat, and it's like 10:30, and it's coming up for minus degrees, like soon enough we're going to be like, I'm going on the bivvy, it's cold. But with those TOG socks, put them on. You've got your Crocs on as well. Your feet are staying warm.
I've had this one. I like these a lot. Yeah, I've had them for a while. I've got a couple of pairs. Just to clarify, they're not the ones with like grippers on the bottom or like actual like solid.
No.
They are just socks.
And they're just children's socks.
Or the ones that they can run around the house and not slip over.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think I've ever had any with grippers on the bottom.
Yeah, you can get like bigger. They are like what you would call like slipper socks, and they're like they were like fluffy lined on the inside. But these aren't. These are like they're basically thermal socks.
Yeah.
But like really thick.
Thick.
And they're good. Yeah, you can wear Crocs with them out and about. And also when it gets like, so we'll fish through the winter. And when it gets to like the real like December, January minus, low minuses in the mornings, it does make a massive difference. Or if you're just trying to get to sleep, it can make a big difference as well. So yeah, I'm well up for that. Anything to make things a little bit easier.
I have a feeling you've got some more coming. That's going to.
I don't have TOG socks on my list.
Oh
No, I don't. They probably are, but just in the interest.
that's strange.
Yeah, my next one is similar. My next one is. Let me just double check. Actually, I've made a list. Oh, yeah, it is similar. So my number 4 is sealskin hat, waterproof.
Oh wow!
With a head torch.
Yeah, fair play.
That's my number 4. It's
How did I miss that?
yeah, it's again super convenient. It's one of those things where it's great warmth. If anything, too hot, maybe too hot.
Yeah.
They are really good in the winter. So again, in the summer, like it's not amazing because you would get too warm. But yeah, when you're trying to get out and about, and it's obviously at night, you can go to sleep in it, and then you can get up if you get a take straight out, and then you've not got to worry about fumbling around trying to find your head torch, and you can just click it straight on. It's not the brightest of torches, but it will. It's pretty bright to be fair, but it will certainly keep you kind of like aware of what you're doing. You can see what you're doing, and it's waterproof. So if it is raining, it's one of those things where it's quite nice as well. It's not going to get soaking wet. So that is my number.
That's a good shout. So I've also got one of them. Now, unfortunately, I've lost my head torch at the moment.
Which one? You've just lost it.
The Zippity. Yeah, I can't remember where I put it. I'm still trying to locate it.
It's got to be somewhere. How long have you been looking for it?
No, it's lost temporarily.
Right, okay.
It's not like gone into the ether.
I was going to say.
I've temporarily misplaced it.
Right,
and I'm going to find it. I just need to find it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've lost that at the moment, so I'm forced to use my sealskin hat. It's really hot at the moment. So, last night, I was sweating in bed anyway.
Did you wear it in bed?
No, God, no.
Say.
It was sitting on the side. It's going to be like 16 degrees at night, and I've still got it on like
woolly hat.
Committed. No, so I've still got it on the side, but whenever like my alarm goes, I'm there and I'm like
ready to put it on.
Ready to go. But when was it a few weekends ago when I caught that 16, I had to wear it then, and it wasn't as hot as it is at the moment, but it was still like
warm.
A good 15 degrees, and I was sitting there going, I'm wearing woolly hat in 16 degrees. It's a bad idea. So, but yeah, I rate that. That's a really good shout.
No, they're good. Right. Number 3. We've not had one crossover yet. So.
My number 3 is, survey says, power bank.
Oh, thief.
Is it also your number 3?
It's not my number 3, no.
Oh, ranking it higher than that.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay. So, yeah, power banks, but I don't just mean, the small little power banks. I mean the proper chunky ones.
Yep.
So we've both got Anker power banks, but the big like power station ones, the ones
Yep.
that you can still stick a 12-volt socket in it, and it's going to last you like a week on the bank. Yeah. So like my one's a bit more compact than yours. You've got the slightly more powerful one, but mine's got a light built onto the top. It's like a little lantern.
Mine's got a light strip along the front.
It
of
does.
Yeah.
But you don't come out your bivvy looking like Scrooge
Yeah,
with his
holding
little
it up
thing
like
going
a
up like
lantern.
this, going,
So mine is number 2. Power bank for me is number 2.
Oh.
So, but yeah, again, I completely agree. I think the power station.
Well, you got to ruin that for the viewers. You didn't have to do that.
Well, what I don't want to do is talk twice about power banks, though. So I feel like the
Yeah,
logical explanation here is to just go.
Maybe the audience want to hear about power banks in depth.
We can do a whole podcast. Someone, whoever you are, if you want to hear a whole episode on power banks, let us know.
Just put it,
And
in
at
the,
this
put it in the
stage-
comments below, and we'll do an hour on power
We're
banks.
pretty new, so there's only got to be one of you ask for it, and we'll do it.
yeah, maybe we'll see.
So, but yeah, power bank for me is number 2. So there is a number 3 coming up. But yeah, I agree. The power station, for me, it allows me, if I need to be able to charge anything, bait boats, if I want to charge my bivy lamps, if I want to charge head torches, my phones, if I want to plug in a laptop and work and do some work on the bank side or anything else at all, I can do that as well. And I think it's one of those things where it just makes, definitely, I'd love to say, I don't, I can just go off grid and, but the reality is having your phone to be able to, watch Netflix or to be able to text people or speak to people, or even if it's just for like a safety point of view, if you're a bit more off the grid, to be able to have that phone to be able to call someone, take photos, whatever it is, having power makes it more accessible. And I think being able to stay out for longer sessions, like 48, 72s, or even a week, is massively helped by having power. So yeah, I think for me, it ranks even higher, especially in today's modern day sort of style fishing, where everything is rechargeable now, everything is, power related. So
One of the biggest things that I found with them is I forget to charge it because it just goes for so long. Like mine will last for like a solid week, and I will literally go fishing. Like even the last few sessions I've done, I've not charged it. And it's literally just sat there on like 40, 50%. I've gone back out fishing again, and it's lasted me another 36, 72 hours. And, I just can't complain about them. And you're right, like because everything's just rechargeable now, like it's an essential. Otherwise, you run the risk of just, your bait boat running out of juice or whatever, and
or your phone,
your
whatever.
phone or anything,
No, I like it. Good. Right, well, my number 3 is it's a bit of a rogue left field one. It's very specific to, I think, me and you. Like, I recently picked it up, which is a gooseneck phone holder. That is my number 3. I rank it above a few things, but it's not above a power bank. Reason being is the amount of convenience. There is nothing beats when you're set up fully, you'll go to just chill out, go to sleep, and you can just... So if you don't know what a gooseneck... When I refer to a gooseneck phone holder, it's basically very similar to this mic stand. So it clips on to the side of your bed chair or table or chair, whatever it is. And it's like a bendy, sort of movable, flexible arm with a huge phone clip on the end. And you can stick your phone into it, which then allows you to effectively just put anything on Netflix, your phone to watch, and you can just kind of position it in one place, which is super useful when it's like winter. So we'll fish through the winter, as you said. It doesn't matter like what temperature it is. And sometimes if you're like trying to, in your sleeping bag, hold your phone up really close to your face, it can be like uncomfortable, or you'll get like freezing cold hands or something like that. Whereas it's super useful just to be able to have effectively your phone directly in front of you really easily to watch what you want. And it's one of those things where I don't really think it's been adopted by the fishing industry yet.
Nah, not at all.
Ridge Monkey hasn't done one yet, basically.
You can't really buy them anywhere, I don't think.
We got on Amazon. It's like just a random brand, but it's something I just sort of bought of like an idea, and it's been so useful to have and really nice just to be able to, even if you're like, trying to learn to tie knots or on the bank side where it is, you can kind of just hold it there and then just kind of get on with it. So yeah, it's been one of those things that's like a really underestimated thing. But if I go and I leave it at home, I'm like kicking myself because it's just like, it's just such a convenience.
I've done it so many times, left it at home, and then I've just gone, well, now I've got to put my iPad on my table, and if you ever tried putting your iPad on or your phone on a bivvy table and then trying to lie down and it doesn't work.
No.
It's not a good viewing angle at all. So yeah, they are nuts. Although my first one broke.
Yeah,
But I think that's because I got a bit too heavy-handed with the gooseneck.
whipping it around everywhere.
I was just having so much fun.
But also, you had one on an iPad, which is asking a lot of it, to be fair.
And yeah, it was a long one that I had as well. My new one is like short, stubby one, but it's like made out of the same like gear as all of my like camera gear. So it's all like mega heavy
duty
metal stuff.
You can whip it around as much as you like.
Yeah, and it proper clamps onto the bed chair as well, and works a dream.
Right, that's number 3.
I like that.
On to 2. I mean, we already know my 2, but yours, no one does so.
My 2 is very specific. It's not just the item itself. It has to be this brand, the Ridge Monkey Bivy Light.
Okay.
And it's purely just because I don't think I've ever charged it and it's still working. I don't understand where the juice is coming from.
The power bank that you'd never charge as well.
But where's that juice coming from? The juice has to come from somewhere. So yeah, I don't know. I don't understand. Like they just keep going and going and going.
They are brilliant.
They got multicolours in them. You know, they're dimmable. Yeah, it's just one of those things when there is so many things to charge nowadays when you go fishing. To have something that is like you don't have to charge just like quite so much, like is an absolute win. And the thing is as well, they go really bright.
Super
like
bright.
when you put them on the front of your bivvy, like not in your bivvy, and you catch a fish and you literally ping that on, it lights up your entire swim.
Yeah.
So it's an absolute win in my books because I don't think I could ever have a pleasant fishing experience where I go to catch during the night and I don't have that on me. It would be an absolute nightmare.
So I would agree. I think they definitely rank, like they're not in my top, but they are invaluably important, especially because they have like the bank stick attachment.
Oh, yeah.
So you can stick it into the ground. Like we'll just have a rigged up bank stick quite often. And we'll use it to light night shots and stuff as well when we're taking photos and things. I do have one complaint about them though, which for me is quite a big thing. I have spent, and I don't mind being honest about this, far too much of my time trying to find the magnetic piece of metal, as sometimes you'll go to put it on and you'll knock it, and then you'll just hear,
and it slides
and
down
then it
the top
slides
of your bivvy.
down. And so my bivvy has an inner dome. We have one of the Fox bivvies which has like an inner dome, and if it's in the inner dome and it slides off and it's sort of round the side of the inside of the inner dome, I have to like go around and like get on my hands and knees and try and like unfurl
Fish it
everything
out.
and then fish wherever it is, maybe like where it's fallen. So that's the only downside. Like I wish there was like a solution for that. That would be nice, but they are brilliant, especially with the remote as well.
See, my one goes on the outside of my bivvy, so I don't have that problem.
Yeah, well, there you go then. So,
But that's because I have the Sonic bivvy light inside my bivvy.
oh, so you have
gives me a headache every time it goes off.
and the alarm,
Yeah.
the one that's rigged
Yeah.
to the alarms.
Yeah.
I have one, but I just have never used it because the idea of like a flashing light turning on every time my alarm goes off, along with a sound, just sounds horrendous.
It's not great, but
No.
it wakes me up.
Yeah,
So, so I'll deal with it.
Right, well, my number 2, spoiler alert, was a power bank, which we've covered off already.
Easy
And
does
again, yeah, super useful. We obviously spoke about the reasons why. And if you want to hear a full episode on it, there's only got to be one of you. So let us know.
But be careful what you wish for.
Yeah,
It sounds like we're doing 1 hour on the power bank.
Okay, so I think that was your number 2.
That's my number 2.
So we're on to number
We're
1.
on number 1 now.
All right. I think
It's better be big.
I'm pretty confident we're going to have the same number 1 because you've not mentioned it yet. And
Okay, go on.
so you want to go first?
No, I went first. Like, this is you now.
What, for my number 1? All right. So my number 1 for the essential non-essentials,
I'm keen to know if it's going to be the same as mine now.
it's going to be is a DSLR
Oh,
camera.
for God's sake, yeah.
It's going to be the same. Well, there you
Yeah.
go then. So reason being is, and we've spoken about this before in detail, to us, so a big part of, I think a big part of the fishing experience for us is like when you catch that fish, especially 9 out of 10 of the lakes we fish, will generally be sort of like quite tough specimen lakes where we can literally spend weeks and months trying to go after certain fish or trying to catch fish, or especially like during like a winter campaign, it can be a long time and you won't have many fish out. And it's nice to be able to really like commemorate that moment by taking like an awesome picture. And also when we're bored, if we've got nothing else to do, we'll take photos, like we'll do stuff. The reason I think it's important, a lot of our background, we've always enjoyed like photography and videography and things like that, hence doing this. I think that's something that we've done. We have like the gear to do it. But specifically a decent camera. You know, you see, for me, and I get, you know, everyone has their own reasons why, but I think people spend so much money on fishing gear. You know, some people spend thousands and thousands and thousands, and then we'll just catch a fish that they've been trying to catch for ages, and then we'll just take a really blurry shot, like on a phone, you know, that they've lent up against their bivvy. And, you know, for us, I think it's super important to have that moment and to be able to like make a, you know, sort of a deal out of it. So
yeah, no, I completely agree. I think it's one of those things that's like, to say it's overlooked, I think is probably a bit strong, because everyone knows that taking a photo of your catch is like the thing, but getting a good photo of your catch, like not everyone can do. And actually, I think there's probably like, you know, ask your mate to help you. Ask the guy in the swim next door to you to come and give you a hand quickly, you know, or come take a good photo for you. Like, there's no shame in that at all. Like, if you've put all of these hours like into trying to catch at least one, like, you've got to make the most of, you know, kind of the fact that you've now caught it, and, you know, kind of as why we do it. And there's so many people that just, you know, literally take a photo of the fish on the mat or whatever, and it's like, I mean, you know, if that's what they're happy with, cool. But if that was me, I'd be like, God, like that would not suit me at all.
We've also used photography to massively help our, I don't want to say like relationships with fisheries, but it's helped in a big way.
Massively, yeah.
So from where we've been, like we've all, at certain fisheries, we've like, not that we've got like a reputation, but like we have got like a bit of a reputation for taking like nice pictures.
Good photos, yeah.
And the fisheries really appreciate it, because if they've got like this beautiful, you know, 30-40 pound fish that's like never really had a nice photo of it, getting a really great picture for them to use on their Facebook or their catch report or Instagram or website goes a long way. And like they will, you know, people will want you there, and it's one of those things where it helps them massively use it for their page, because that's why people ultimately want to go to the fisheries, is because they see a photo and think, oh God, like wow, I want to catch that fish as well. So it has helped our relationships, like definitely with when we've gone places, you know, we'll kind of get to that last day and they'll go, oh, send us a photo, and we'll send it across, and they're like, oh God, wow. And then next time we go, they'll remember and be like, oh, another one of those pictures would be good.
Yeah,
sort of
please.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but also as well, I think like even when we're not catching, it was only like a couple of weeks ago, we had what was that Northern Lights thing, and we were out fishing. We were doing a night at our local, and yeah, I don't think we didn't catch anything that night, did we?
No.
But what we did catch was a whole bunch of photos of the Northern Lights thing. And I remember the bailiff coming around in the morning and being like, so you caught anything? And we're like, no, not yet. And we're like, well, but did you see last night? And they were like, no, I was fast asleep. And I was like, oh, well, come and have a look at this. And then like you got your camera out and showed them a load of photos, and they were like, oh, send me them, and I really want to put them on the Facebook. And it was like, well, all of a sudden, in amongst all these fish photos that everyone else that everyone else had caught, like there was just our photos of the Northern Lights, which was, look, catch something at least, you know, it's better than nothing. But yeah, like it helps massively. Like, you know, as you say, if these fisheries have got these immaculate fish in there, they want good photos of them, because ultimately it's free marketing for them.
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree. I think that's a good comprehensive top 5. Now there are definitely, you know, we take sort of like everything but the kitchen sink when we go fishing. So there's definitely a lot of things, but I think for me at least anyway, if I was to go fishing, there are 5 things that if I didn't have, I'd be
annoyed,
kicking myself
100%.
about.
Yeah.
So it's pretty comprehensive. Right, well look, that moves us pretty swiftly, a nice first topic, onto the next section. We're going to do like a bit of a questions from the audience, from you guys, people watching, and Matt's had a pretty good question, especially considering both of our number ones for our essentials as well.
Yeah, so the question that I had was on my Instagram from the Carpi Traveller.
Oh.
In brackets, Kurt Hilton.
Thanks, Kurt.
So I've semi-answered this through DMs already, but I'm keen to get your thoughts on this. So he said, what is the camera setup that we use?
Good question, firstly.
So it's simple,
Yep.
but you kick us off.
Well, I think both of us use the Sony A7 series DSLRs.
Yeah.
So I have a new Sony A7 Mark IV, and you have two.
I have Sony A7S2 and a Sony A7S3.
Does a lot of video.
I'm mainly video. Liam does a bit more of a combination of everything, hence the choices of camera.
Hence the choices. But
yeah, but also as well, like it's not essential to have two. I just have two because I do it for a career. Like it's a profession for me. So
yeah, exactly. That's fair. And I think but I think realistically, any entry level DSLR is going to take you up a level.
Yeah.
Realistically, in regards to your photography, or if you want to do videography, that as well. I think phones are definitely brilliant, like especially now. Like I have one of the new Samsungs, and the cameras are immaculate, and you can get some really brilliant photos. Where the real difference between DSLRs kind of come into play is if you want to kind of start editing the pictures, the what's called the dynamic range, the range you have on actually sort of editing the photos then drastically increases and improves. And that sort of, if you want to get those, when you go on Instagram or a magazine and you see those incredible photos where the carp just looks immaculate, that's what you need a DSLR for that.
Yeah, and I think lenses play such a huge part in it as well. Phone cameras are have come on so much, but they are kind of taking it to the extreme. Mine's got 5 cameras on it.
Yeah.
Was that? Yeah, it's 5 cameras. It's I just don't understand why you need all of that. But with a DSLR, one lens will get you a whole variety of shots, but the depth of those shots are going to be ridiculous. The depth of field on those, the out of focus background, the quality and the sharpness of the fish in your hands is going to be kind of second to none. So you don't need to spend thousands and thousands on cameras. You could get a really good second-hand deal on something, and it really suit you to the end of the earth. It's purely just giving yourself a bit more kind of variety, a bit more kind of functionality in the depth of the images. So if you want to go and edit them, you really take them to that next level.
Yeah, and I think as well, one of the things is that where we've kind of got so into our photography of taking photos of fish that we catch, is if you have a DSLR and you worry about your setup, you are far more likely to take the time, the effort to learn about how to take photos correctly, to actually really kind of focus on getting good photos as well. I think that's a big thing.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're just taking a photo on your phone, you're far less likely to do that.
Yeah, 100%. I think as well, one thing we haven't spoken about is lighting.
Yeah, massively important.
Obviously, less important during the day because kind of if the sun's out, you're going to bang most photos that are there, providing that you get the right angles and that kind of stuff. But the worst fish photos that people ever see is night photos, because they are hard to take. Kind of your camera's not really coping with the light very well, or the lack of light. So you have to really try hard to get some more light into the camera so that you can really see it properly. And when we take night photos, I mean, we've got 4, 5 lights on the go, and they're kind of dotted around us. So if we have, I don't know, it might be that we've got a light purely facing you just to literally blow everything up in front of you, but then we'll also have your brother with a torch just on the fish to highlight the fish, and then we'll have another light behind you to give yourself a kind of backlight to separate you from the darkness, because obviously you can't see anything behind you, so you need to give yourself an outline. And then there might just be another light that we'll have in somewhere to the side that will just be putting a splash of colour somewhere. It's, we go overkill with a lot of that, but actually it guarantees a really good night shot.
Yeah, I think that the real sort of fundamental of that is if you don't sort of, if you haven't gathered already, the more light you have, the better the photo will be. That effectively, it allows you to get a better shot. The more light you can get to a camera, hence why, if you're going to take a photo on your phone during the day, it's always going to look way nicer, especially the phones nowadays. The actual sort of shutter will stay open for slight, a fraction of a second to allow more light in, which is that night mode.
But in turn, because it's staying open longer, your photos are blurry.
You get that blur, exactly. So then, and as we all know, fish will do anything but stay still. So you want to try and have what's called that shutter speed lower, in which turn you need the light sort of, to be much sort of higher. But I think that for the most part is like a good sort of overall coverage.
I think it's in summary, it's not necessarily about the camera. It is purely how you use it. So if you've got a DSLR, just go off and like really learn it. Like learn what it means to take a photo during the day, during the night. And if you're fishing with mates, just bring a whole bunch of light. So that if you catch one at night, have one on you, one in the background, one on the fish, whatever. Like however you want to do it, get creative with it. But as long as you've got more light than anything, if you nail those three things, you'll get some really good photos.
Yeah, and I think a good little just kind of way to surmise this is we do have the benefit of yourself and myself having spent a lot of time doing this. So if you're watching, you're listening, however you're consuming this, and you do want to know more about sort of specifically what we do, techniques, like I think we could definitely cover it in a bit more detail than we have already as well. So we could definitely do that.
Yeah. So that pretty much wraps us up, I think.
I think as a first episode, as a first kind of getting back into things, I think that's a good place to start. We'll push these out weekly.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to do weekly episodes on YouTube, Spotify. Well, that's probably the two places we'll have this go out. Isn't it?
There'll be clips on all other platforms like Instagram and stuff as well, but
TikTok,
full episodes. Yeah, YouTube and
we'll put links in the comments description below on everywhere you can get us. If you're still here now, thanks, appreciate it. Thank you for
listening. Thank you for watching wherever you are.
Yeah, thank you for liking, commenting, subscribing. All those things helps massively. Obviously, we're kind of new at this at the moment, so all the exposure, the better.
All the support is welcome.
Massively. And if you've got any comments, things you want to hear us talk about, just drop a comment below. At the minute, your voice is going to be pretty loud, so let us know.
Shout out.
Right, well, look, thank you very much, and we'll catch you next week.